Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene Aworu. I am your financial literacy educator for your little one. I wanted to tell you a little bit more about myself and why you should allow your child to take classes with me. Of course, you should let your child take classes with me because you're excited about them learning financial literacy and preparing them for their best next. But the reason you should choose me as a financial educator is because my background is in accounting. My educational background is in accounting. I also have taught various subjects over the last few years. I started off teaching. I worked in corporate for about 10 years in accounting, but I started off teaching 6 years ago as a English as a second language online teacher. I actually taught for a very well-known company, and I taught foreign students how to speak English. And I did that online for about 3 years. And then I transitioned from teaching English, ESL is what we call it, English as a second language. I transitioned from teaching ESL online for many reasons. One of the reasons is you have to get up at the crack of dawn. You guys, if you know anything about teaching ESL online, you know we have to get up at the crack of dawn to teach those other students because they're in other countries and the time difference is like, ah. But and that I'm telling you, that was the bonus of why I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something else. But I did transition into teaching on another well-known platform that's based here in the United States. And I began teaching, I would do preschool online actually. And during the height of the pandemic, I actually did very, very well teaching preschool online. It was awesome. I miss my students if you see me. But I taught preschool online for a year and a half. I taught preschool online a year and a half. And so I'm very well versed in being able to educate kids online, and I'm well versed in educating kids who are in the younger age groups and keeping them engaged, because that's a lot of teaching online is being able to keep their attention, keep them engaged, and keep them motivated. And I noticed that that was a huge part of it, not just on the teaching side of it, but actually on the parenting side of it as well. Because when the pandemic started, my children had to be taught virtually online through the public school system, and my son was not here for it. He was like picking up lint and just playing with dirt on the table, and essentially I was sitting there, governing him on how to sit there and listen to his teacher. And so eventually I actually pulled him out of school and homeschooled him for a year. So I've done some homeschooling as well. Shout out to the homeschool moms. You are underappreciated as well as the teachers now. Y'all, we need to go hard for our teachers. But cuz give them a raise or whatever they need, cuz it's not easy. But shout out to the homeschool moms, because you guys were undervalued for a very long time. But that's a lot of work, and it's a lot of pressure because you're like, am I teaching my kid enough? Is this, anyway? But I digress. So I've homeschooled my own children, the two younger ones. I have taught ESL for 3 years. So I'm familiar with teaching children online and keeping them engaged. And I've also taught preschool online for a year and a half. And I'm actually very, very passionate about the things that I teach. If you know any of the students I've taught, or you are familiar with me, I'm very high energy, very engaged with my students. Where no class is ever the same. We're always doing something new. All classes have, a recap of learning that involves a type of game. So that is, my background in education as far as my teaching ability online. My financial literacy credentials come mostly from my accounting background. I am also an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. I've owned businesses since maybe 2006. I've always owned some type of business. So at this time, I own about four businesses currently. If you could see my office, you would know there's at least four businesses going on in this office. And I also, as you can see on, if you're following my Instagram, I'm a financial literacy educator of anybody who wants to listen. So that is where my financial literacy background comes from, and I'm very passionate about getting the information out as soon as possible. So I'll see you next time.